Welcome to a special meeting of the City Council of the City of Pearsall to be held today, September 27, 2019. Time is 6:31. May I have a roll call, please?
Mary Moore.
Present.
Julian Hernandez.
Present.
Richard Ganda. Sonia Hernandez.
Here.
Brenda Trevino.
Here.
Robert Villarreal.
Present.
Roland Zabote.
Here.
Delana Rodriguez.
Okay, we have a quorum. So we're going to stand for our invocation as well as Pledge of Allegiance.
In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the gifts you've bestowed on us. And most especially, I ask you to bless us with wisdom. For all this, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For A, new business, discussion and consider ordinance number 2019-04, adopting the City of Pearsall proposed annual appropriation budget for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2019 and September 30th, 2020. This is an action item. May I entertain a motion for discussion, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Mayor and Council, good evening. As again, everybody's been handed a copy of the budget. We're all aware of it. There is a section of this that the public is allowed to speak on this item. So that if it's part of the discussion, if the council, the mayor will entertain as far as any public comments. I think we have one, and then I want to add a couple other things after the public's allowed to speak. I just have a couple other things to add.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. Thank you. My name is Ray Trevino, and I wanted to talk about the budget real quickly. And because I talk fast sometimes, I want to give you my copy of this. But I went through the budget real quickly. Not all 85 pages, just a summary of it. I noticed on page 1, the revenue. There's about $100,000 more in taxes, $10,000 more in traffic fines or fees. 3 comments with respect to those revenue expenses. I want to make sure that the police chief is not pressured into giving more fines due to the fact that, okay, now we have a budget, and he's got to say, okay, I got to produce so much revenue. So that is one concern. Even though it's sometimes not said, I want to make sure that, you know, he can express from council members to the police chief that, hey, it's just a budget, you're not pressured to get so many tickets per month. The other comment I had was, you know, the county does collect, you know, I saw their budget too, and it seemed like they have a lot of money in revenue. But in your case, you only have $500,000. And I'm thinking, well, that's, in my mind, that seems insufficient for maybe, and maybe the city manager can address that later on. You're going to hire all these people, 5 people, I believe, saw on Pearsall leader, and I'm saying, it just seems to me that we don't have that much more in taxes, and we're already hiring X number of people. And you're right, they may be replacing people and all that, but still, revenue is limited, right? Mm-hmm. Taxpayer first, employee second. That's the way I think. Anyway, and then of course, if you do hire them, I didn't see a line item for contingency funds. If you do go over budget, how are you going to pay for that? The other comment that I have is more of a recommendation that we did before. I know the county gets a lot of money and have a road and crew. It seems to me that we should, maybe not this year, but the next year or whenever, we should start to consider about maybe doing an interlocal agreement with the county in respect to the street repair. If they have graders, you have graders, they have people that know how to do the graders, well, it just seems to me that grader doing that, I mean, I would think you could share some of those resources or equipment, and I know that would require, I guess, some convincing in the county to do that. But I think that would be a good idea due to the fact that they're getting more revenue, a lot more revenue than you guys are because of the appraisals, and because of the oil industry, et cetera. That's the last comment on that. On the expenditures, I noticed $600,000 more in page 1 in administration. To me, that just seems high for a small city. It also seems heavy. I know when I was on the school board, we always got this criticism, why do you have so much money based on administration? And I think it requires an explanation. Well, for example, the good feedback would be, that's not a lot of money, but it's sufficient to maintain what we have. But I think it requires a little bit of clarification when you have another $600,000 in administration. The next comment is the Main Street. Main Street was zeroized. I just want to make sure that you understand that, okay, I believe I thought I read that was a 3-year program. And I'm not much of an advocate for state programs because sometimes they come and bite you. I just want to make sure that there's not a penalty for terminating the program. I think it was a volunteer program. But with that being said, I think there's always a need for technical civil projects, but not just, in my mind, not just Oak Street, but in general, the city could use some insight from technical expertise on what's the best way to improve that street or that street or that street, not just for technical integrity, but also to ensure that for the aesthetics of the city. So when I say aesthetics, I guess the next point is, and my last point is $400,000 more in street maintenance. And I guess it's no secret, all our streets need repair. And I believe, I think we budgeted $1 million or more, and that's probably low. But I also realize that we have a small tax base, and we can only fix so many potholes. Even if you have a great truck and a great supervisor and a great crew, you're not going to fix all the roads. The county is not going to fix all the roads. There's 300 miles of road in the county. If you want to really fix all the roads, you need about $300 million a year on fixing the roads and maintaining the roads, and you don't have that. So you got to figure out which is important and which is not important. Now, with that being said, you still need oversight because you're going to pick and choose. You still need oversight of the engineering contracts and the street maintenance. And whether that's done by an engineer or an architect or someone else, it doesn't matter. You just need someone to technically be competent to review that. The issue that I've always had with the city is that when you contract it out, you're doing a contract. They're not giving you a city perspective. They're giving you a contract perspective. So you have to be careful about that. So I know that, for example, a lot of streets are being repaired, but hopefully the $400,000 or $600,000 more you're going to get will address the fact that you're not just repairing streets, you're repairing the streets after it's being repaired. So for example, where I live in Roosevelt and Pecos, I know they paved it, and then one rain later, they had the street washed out and had to repave it again. Now, that probably, I don't know the reason, supervisor issues, material issues, technical competence issues, training issues, I don't know. All I know is that it was there one day, you spent the whole day fixing it, the next day it was gone because of the rain. So I hope that the street expenditures that we do are spent wisely due to the fact that we only have $500,000 more in our budget, and you really can't afford to be doing that too many times. And I don't think you should be doing things that are frivolous. I think you should. I know we all want to do the right thing, and you're all here doing the right thing, but sometimes you got to look at not the battle, but the war, okay? We want to win the war. And everybody, I mean, I have personal issues with, for example, littering in the streets, and I was getting upset by that. And I could talk all day about littering, but really it's an issue, but it's not a humongous issue. So when you start talking about the budget, you should talk about the big issue and not necessarily the little issues, meaning expenditure-wise, due to the fact that we don't have much money in the budget. Thank you very much for your.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Any other public comments? I don't know if there's any. I do want to just touch on a couple of things, council, and I wanted to make sure on, in your packet, as far as the budget, there are some positions, of course, if you look at the organizational chart that were added, and I mentioned to the council. The two positions that were, I say weren't added, that are included in the budget that we discussed, one is for a planner position, and one is for a building official position, building inspector, excuse me. Those are two positions that again are budgeted for this fiscal year. And the other changes, and I wanted to make sure the council was aware, is the chief, the police chief. Again, you have your new ACO code enforcement positions. It's not a change. Again, we discussed that, so there'll be two people that'll be addressing animal control and code enforcement. One will be making a lateral move. Our current code enforcement officer will be making a lateral move for one of those positions. So we'll be hiring for the other position. And we have 5 positions for streets that we'll be advertising for. We also have 1 position for utility billing. And then the other, of course, we are going to be looking for a public works director. And the one change, a couple more changes is facilities historically has kind of reported to me directly. That's going to report to the Parks and Recreation, and so I made that change, our organizational shift. The reason for that, I quite frankly, is I prefer the facilities and Parks and Recreation kind of. I think Mr. Otero actually does a lot of that work as it pertains to facilities. He helps clean up all around a lot of our facilities. So anyway, I didn't think that was a big shift. And then the last thing is there's a GIS/meter technician. You have a job description for that. I put that there in your. And I know you haven't had a chance to review that, but I kind of wanted to give you an idea of what we're looking for. I hope this thing works. Maybe not. I was going to, if I could get this thing to pop up, why would you have? Can't see that far. I hope that's right. Yeah, it's probably not going to cooperate with me. It may not show up today, but nonetheless, it's the GIS technician. Let me see if I can get this to open.
We have a hard copy.
You have the title. I kind of what I wanted to illustrate to show you what that was going to be like. I don't think I can get the. Anyway, if you look on FreoCAD, if you look at, they're doing some GIS work now. So they've got their parcels set up, and so if you get a chance to look at that, if you haven't already, take a look at that. That's all we're talking about GIS. What we're going to work on, and we have already, I think, it's been a while, but what we're going to work on is adding to that map, if you will, that all those, what we call layers. So we're going to be adding our water and sewer systems. I was going to show you some other examples. You can have fire hydrants. So this person, we have somebody on staff that can, is knowledgeable enough as far as computer knowledge to address this. So he'll be working on this. So we're going to be devoting quite a bit of time to try to get our maps straight. The maps, these GIS maps, the reason they're important for a lot of reasons, but primarily because now a lot of the state agencies are requiring that we have this stuff mapped out in a software system. Railroad Commission is one example. So I just wanted the council to be aware that we are getting some push from the state to make sure that we have these maps and they are current. So that was one of the reasons that we're making some of the shift. We hadn't, in the past years, from what I gather, there hasn't been a lot of time and attention that's been paid to, we have maps, but they're not into this, what we call geographic information systems. So anyway, if there's any questions to that, I wish I had something pulled up there, but it just doesn't want to cooperate with me. But I could show the council what it would look like. I was going to give you an example of what the CAD had. I've had it pulled up earlier, the Frio CAD, and then what the city of Midland, I was going to give you an example to kind of show you what that looks like as far as including all of the infrastructure work that I'm talking about. And I apologize, I'm just not able to get it to where I need it to go. So this thing's smarter than I am, I guess. I don't know if I can. I wish I could show you. Which one? This one? There it is. That I'll give you an example. Is here's one. If I can get to it. I don't know what I did.
Just closed it. Here it is.
This thing's good. Ah. That is my house in Midland. That is my house. I'll give you a quick example. And so what it does, God, I keep pressing the wrong thing. This is what this shows you all of, if you look at the green part there, that shows you your sewer lines, shows you your water lines, shows you the length, shows you the size of lines that it is, shows you where fire hydrants are. There's your fire hydrant right there. I live here. So with the CAD information, once we bring that over, it should show you all of the parcel information. All that's in red is your, whoever the owner is, there's my property. But it'll show you all that information. Again, all that stuff is relevant and necessary for what we need. Future development, that's what they ask for a lot of times. Again, where your water and sewer lines are. So we're going to be working on that and make sure we get this going, because it's, again, I think the last update was back in, it's been quite a few years. So on that end, I just wanted to make sure the council was aware that that's what we'll be working on. This person with this position will be working on that part. So that, again, if there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer anything else. I think I've covered everything else. I hope I have. I don't have anything else to add.
Comments, council? Questions? If not, we entertain a motion to address 4A, please. Motion to address 4A.
Okay, I'll move that we approve ordinance number 2019-09-04, adopting the city of Pearsall's proposed annual appropriations budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2019, and ending September 30th, 2020.
Motion on the table. May I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor? 4.
Against.
Against.
I need to do a,
Voice.
Julian Hernandez,
Yes?
Sonia Hernandez,
Yes.
Richard Gamba, Randy Trevino,
Yes.
Davina Rodriguez, Roland Segovia,
No.
Robert Flores.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 4B, discussion and consider ordinance number 2019-09-02, amending the adopted budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2018.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All in favor? Yes, sir.
Mayor and council, on this ordinance, what we're asking for is to move forward with the chief, and the chief is here also to discuss his need for Jaws of Life, and Josie will discuss as far as the numbers, the $27,000 that we'd like to allocate for the purchase of this. But you want to speak a little bit on the Jaws for Life, don't you?
Last year, we had our spare set that went down. So right now, we're working with one set. Normally, we carry two, one for backup in case something happens with the other one. So we went out for bids, and there's only one vendor that would sell us that particular brand. That what we have now and what we're working with now in case something were to happen. What we have now, we're able to use the new stuff with it, so we stay with the same brand. It was bid out at $27,376, and that's where we're at.
Can you explain the budget?
So y'all have attached the budget, Exhibit A, and in there, the fire prevention has $130,000. The present budget, we're going to increase it to $12,000 because they have remaining funds in there. That's going to allocate the rest of the funding for Jaws for Life, is just increasing it to $12,000. Just because it's increasing the total amount of revenue and expenditures, that's what we identified. So your expenditure is your equipment and apparatuses, which the current budget is $4,000. So we're increasing it to $12,000. Again, the funding is there for the remainder of the amount. That's why it's only $12,300.
And it's all US.
And ESD, Chief did send everything to ESD a few weeks ago to get their approval prior to coming over here to get our approval. ESD was all for it to increase their total revenues for us. So they did remit payment to the chief, so we do have the money available. And we're just asking to increase that.
I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and adopt amending the adopted budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st for ordinance number 2019-0902.
There's a motion, table, may I have a second, please?
I'll second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item 4C, discussion, consider ordinance number 2019-0203, amended adopted budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2018. Action item, entertain a motion to discuss, please.
Motion to discuss.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Yes, sir.
Mayor and Council, this last item, or excuse me, second to the last item, is for the purchase. We'd like to amend the budget to purchase some equipment for the police department. We're going to try to move forward as quickly as possible to try to address some of our animal control issues. With that, what we're asking is to go ahead and buy some of the equipment that's necessary for that. Right now, we don't have necessary equipment right now. The police department, basically, when they have animal issues, they put animals, or they need to do something with them, they put them in the back of their vehicles. That's what's currently happening. So what we're asking for is an amendment to the budget to give them the funds to be able to buy these cages that they need. Those will be mounted on pickup, and they'll be able to do things a little more efficiently, hope, and not have to carry animals in the back of their units. So again, that's kind of what we're pushing for. We're asking for one, but the ACO,
Do we
discuss
have
a
the
couple.
truck?
We do have the one truck. One of the trucks we're going to use is a compliance truck. That's one of the trucks we'd like to mount on, and the other one is going to be, sorry? Yeah, the city manager truck. Those will be the two trucks that what our hope is again, when we get to purchasing some of this other equipment we need later in the year, we'll use some of that equipment to meet some of our needs here at City Hall. But for now, we really, on our end, we really have to push to at least make an attempt to start addressing some of these animal control issues. We are going to, I'm sorry, go ahead. you raise your hand. We are going to make sure that we get information out to the public. Again, try to, and again, Chief and I discussed this, is try to be proactive to let the public know that we're going to start addressing some of these issues. Put it out as best we can to the public, whether it's through social media, through the newspaper, just letting people know that we are going to start moving forward with this. I think for one of the cages, we should get a pretty quick turnaround. We should have it within a couple of weeks if it's approved through the city council. And so, again, that's our goal for this next few months.
Two things. One, I think it's important that we let the community know what current ordinance is on having a pet. I think it's like not more than 3 pets. They need to be in the backyard or in the house. Those kinds of things, because some residents may not understand that at this point, and their dogs and cats may be loose, and maybe they want to bring them back in. The other thing is that I remember Mr. Velasquez had a truck with cages in the back. What happened to that truck?
I don't know.
He was the ACO before.
It's at the service center.
What
no
about
longer-
the cages, though?
The cages couldn't,
Are they welded on?
Yes.
Mm.
They had to go out after 3 days.
I don't know about the truck. I'll take your word that it doesn't run, but I don't know that, my assumption is that it's probably a cage that we manufactured here. I don't know that for a fact, but these cages the whole goal is to mount these cages, and if we need to put them on another piece of equipment, then we can. So right now, we're asking for one, and then we're going to try to use a modified, what can we call it, cages that for the other truck until we can purchase one with a new budget year. So that's what we're trying to accomplish.
I'd like to make a motion.
Proceed.
Amending the adopted budget for the fiscal year beginning October the 1st for ordinance 2019-0203.
May I have a second, please?
One second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item 4D, discussion and consider authorizing Pearsall Volunteer Fire Department to purchase a set of jaws of life. Entertain a motion to discuss, please.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All in favor? Yes, sir.
Mayor and Council, as the fire chief said, I think that's pretty self-explanatory unless we need to discuss now.
There is no discussion. I'd like to make a motion
Go ahead, sir.
to authorize the Pearsall Volunteer Fire Department to purchase a set of jaws of life.
Second.
All in favor by show of hands, please. Motion carries unanimously. Entertain a motion to adjourn. please.
Adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second.